Now it's time for the 4 most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines. Field starting to roll off. In the interest of time, no 4-wide parade lap. They are going to stay. Everybody has fired up and is rolling away, so the starting lineup will stay as announced. We are getting ready to go 30 laps of hyper racing, wingless 600 racing. Here on night number 2 with the Bud Spring Service Labor Day Shootout. .30 laps the distance. Alex Bright and Christian Bruno ready to lead the field into the start zone. Steven Snyder Jr., Cody West all over the back bumpers. Green flag in the air. We're underway. Alex Bright going to be your race leader. One car going around in turn 4. Caution flag is out. Trouble already. Turn number 4. They didn't get a lap in the books. So they're going to re-rack them and do it again, with the exception of the car coming to a stop inside of turn number 4. Trouble for the 7B of Mitchell Bard. That car going around in turn number 4. So the R7 of Brendan Bright coming to a stop in turn 2 after the caution flag. He will also have to head to the tail end of the field. One of the quicker cars out here tonight. Brendan starting in the 10th position. He will have to head to the tail. So the lineup all jumbled after the aborted start. Track officials now getting the lineup all squared away. First 4 rows are good, and then from there on back, they're going to start getting some of the cars lined up. So Alex Bright and Christian Bruno going to continue to make up row number 1. Steven Snyder Jr. and Cody West in row 2. Stephen Dravicki, Preston Latimus, row 3. Colin White, Joey Jarowitz in row number 4. Going to be Jesse Maurer and Damon Paul in row 5. Logan Rumsey and Aiden Board in row 6. Billy Koch and Nick Groff in row number 7. Joe Kay and Nash Ely in row 8. Bradley Brown and Danny Lane Jr. in row number 9. Kyle Spence, Joey Amantia, row 10. Tyler Ulrich and Brian Kramer in row number 11. Row 12, Brandon Heist and Sam Lamoth. And then in row number 13 will be the R7 of Brendan Bright and the 7B of Mitchell Bard. Still 30 laps remaining. Trying to get this Hyper Racing Wingless 600 feature underway. The lineup is good. Field going to make their way off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Trying to get the show underway. Alex Bright, Christian Bruno lead the field. Green flags in the air. We are underway. Field cleanly off of turn number 4. Alex Bright jumps out to the early lead. Christian Bruno running the high line as well through turns 1 and 2. They're going to take the same line through 3 and 4. Give lap number 1 to the 20 of Alex Bright in the 20B. Side-by-side battle back there for the 4th position. That's going to be Stephen Dravicki and Preston Latimus. Dravicki trying to get the inside lane to work, but it is just not having the grip to get off the corners. Alex Bright's checked out the lead. Up a quarter of a second. One car going around turn number 3. Caution flag is out towards the back of the field. That looked like the 55 of Sam Lamoth. Now that they've got a couple of laps in the books, it'll be interesting to see which lane Alex Bright chooses to take on the restart. The high line's the place to be. Taking the inside also takes away that little bit of a slider line that Christian Bruno could try for in turn number 1. One car coming to a stop up against the outside retaining wall down the back straightaway. The number 1 of Joey Jarowitz comes to a stop, hearing his belts may have come undone. So the one of Joey Jarowitz will have to head to the back for coming to a stop on the racetrack. Once again, another very quick car heading to the back. Jarowitz starting in the 8th position. Alex Bright, Christian Bruno still making up the front row. Steven Snyder Jr. and Cody West in row number 2. Preston Latimus and Steven Dravicki going to line up in row number 3. Row 4 will be Colin White and Logan Rumsey. Row 5, Jesse Maurer and Damon Paul. Green flag back in the air. We are underway. 3 laps in the books, 27 laps to go. Bright and Bruno run the high side. Big power move to the outside slide. Job turns 3 and 4. Couple of cars making contact. Steven Snyder Jr. and Cody West. Snyder throws the slider in 1 and 2. West crosses them back over down the back straightaway. Not close enough to attempt to throw the slider back out. A move Steven Snyder up to position number 3. Field being pretty well controlled here. Kyle Spence, Bradley Brown do a little bit of wheel banging off at turn number 4 the last time by. That's going to be towards the upper half of the back end of the field. At the front, top 3 separating themselves just a little bit. Spence smacks it off the outside wall in turn 2 again. Side-by-side battle between Preston Latimus and Colin White. White slides down to the inside, trying to get inside of Steven Dravicki. Latimus now coming back inside of Colin White. That is the battle for the 5th position. Couple of cars almost getting up over the cushion. That's Preston Latimus. 3 wide off at turn number 2. Logan Rumsey battling side by side with the 66 of Billy Koch, and Latimus got out of the groove just a little bit, forced everything 3 wide. Here comes Aiden Borden to join the party between Rumsey and Koch. Borden looks to the inside of the 41 and turns 1 and 2. Trouble down the back straightaway. 1 car slow down the backstretch into turn number 3. The 21 of Steven Snyder Jr. He was running in the 3rd position. That car very slow. Seeing sparks out of the right-hand side of the 21 of Steven Snyder Jr., and he's going to pull it off into the infield. A tough break for that driver. Could be a contender for the Hard Luck Award tonight. Also, see the big show, Joey Amantia parked in the infield as well. Now the last 2 times we've seen that car here at the Clyde, it has ended early on in the infield. Tough break for Joey Amantia. Colin White from the 7th position, now running 4th. He'll get to start on the outside in that preferred lane as well. It's been all Alex Bright at the front of the field so far, opening up a 3/4 of a second gap over Christian Bruno prior to the caution flag. Now Cody West and Colin White going to make up row number 2 for the restart. Steven Dravicki and Jesse Maurer in row number 3. Field down the back straightaway into the start zone. Green flag back in the air. Race leader Alex Bright heads to the inside. Nice pass by Cody West on Colin White. White throws the slider back at him in 1 and 2. Crossover coming in 3 and 4. Cody West still holding on. Damon Paul with a big issue off of turn number 4. It's going to bottle everybody up. Big flip going into turn 1. That incident started with the 144 of Damon Paul getting loose off of turn number 4, stacked the whole field up behind him. $16X of Nick Groff going over heavily. Track safety crew quickly attending to the driver of the 16X. Once again, Alex Bright able to easily hold off Christian Bruno on the restart. Colin White, Cody West, Preston Latimus, your top 5. The 66 of Billy Koch and the 144 of Damon Paul back through the 7th position. Lineup is good to go. So we should see the lights go out the next time the field comes around to the start-finish line. Yep, lights are out. We're ready to go back to racing. 11 down at 19 laps to go, rapidly approaching the halfway point in this one. Alex Bright speeds the field up just a little bit off of turn number 2. Quickly to the loud pedal. He's going to be your race leader off of turn 4. Here comes Colin White inside of Bruno. Big slider coming turns 1 and 2. White slots in behind the 17 and Bruno with a slider for the race lead. Bright crosses back. Christian Bruno slots in about a car length back going into turn number 1. Bruno runs the high lane, able to get a little bit of momentum. Oh, Christian Bruno up into the outside retaining wall, able to keep it going. But that opens up a big gap for Alex Bright. It's almost 1 second. Here comes Colin White looking to the inside of Bruno off the corner. They're going to almost make contact down the front straightaway. A little bit further back, Damon Paul looking inside of the 66 of Billy Koch. Here comes Logan Rumsey. Oh, man, up into the outside wall for the 41 as well. He made contact with Jesse Maurer. Kyle Spence in that party as well. 5-car fight. We'll pick up the battle for a second. Christian Bruno and Colin White trading sliders at each end of the racetrack. White able to hold on to the spot. Now back a little bit further. Here comes Spence inside of Logan Rumsey. He had to really get on the binders because he was about to drill the side of Billy Koch. Spence to the outside of Rumsey. Now he's going to look inside of Jesse Maurer into 3 and 4. Maurer crosses back under. Spence has to just barely touch the brakes as Maurer slid up the racetrack heading in towards turn 1. One car going around turns 1 and 2. Now 2 cars stop. Caution flag is out. $7B going around for the second time this race. That is Mitchell Bard. Looks like Brian Kramer also coming to a stop. He's hung up on one of the infield tires. So Mitchell Bard with strike number 2. Alex Bright picking up the bonus for the halfway leader on that one. A total of $35 to Alex Bright, courtesy of the National Racing Network and Groff Trucking. Pit gate opens up and off goes the number 55 of Sam Lamoth. His feature race will end in the 22nd position. Field starting to get doubled up. Alex Bright going to have a different foe alongside of him on the front row this time as Colin White able to get around Christian Bruno. Just a couple of laps before the caution flag comes out. Bruno will now line up in the third position with Cody West to his outside. Preston Latimus and Damon Paul going to make up row number 3. Nice run for Latimus. Alex Bright able to grab onto the lead. Oh, Jesse Mowers pinballing off a couple of cars. Everybody keeps them straight through turns 1 and 2. At the front of the field, Alex Bright up to the outside. Here comes Christian Bruno looking to get back to the inside of Colin White into turn 1. Not close enough to make the move. Billy Koch throws the big slider on Latimus. Trying to go 2 for 1 is the 117 of Cody West, and I think he just about pulled it off. He's going to split the difference again off of turn number 2. West slides up in front of Latimus. Preston drives back underneath him. Off of turn number 4, a little bit of contact going into turn number 1. That's going to bring Kyle Spence and Billy Koch into the party as well. Out front, nobody is touching Alex Bright, the Phenom, with a lead of 1.2 seconds as lap number 23 goes on the scoreboard. Damon Paul looking inside of Brendan Bright, I believe that is. Fantastic drive forward. Bright gives a little right side romance to Billy Koch down the front straightaway. Here comes Spence. He's going to try to go 2 for 1. Throws the big slider on Cody West. He'll clear him for the spot. Race leader Alex Bright going to be hitting lap traffic as we are approaching 5 laps to go. Now 4 this time by the start-finish line. All alone out front. It's going to take a miracle and a caution flag for anybody to catch Alex Bright. Just as we say that, Bright gets up into the outside fence just a little bit in turn 2. Going to be 2 to go this time by for Alex Bright. Colin White running in the second position. Christian Bruno holding on to third, but the gaps continue to increase. Through turns 3 and 4, white flag in the air from Chief Starter Mike Fry and Alex Bright on his final rapid revolution of the 8th mile. Clyde Martin Memorial Speedway down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Twin checkers in the air. Alex Bright picks up the win over Colin White. Christian Bruno comes home third. Preston Latimus, Kyle Spence round out the top 5.